"I'll tell you," answered the Countess. "Byron had the most perfect belief in the existence of vampires, and even assured me that he had seen them. The description he gave me perfectly corresponds with the features and character of the man before us. Oh, he is the exact personification of what I have been led to expect. The coal-black hair, large, bright, glittering eyes, in which a wild, unearthly fire seems burning. The same ghastly paleness. Then observe, too, that the woman with him is altogether unlike all the others of her sex. She is a foreigner, a stranger. Nobody knows who she is or where she comes from. No doubt she belongs to the same horrible race he does, and is, like himself, a dealer in magical arts. I entreat of you not to go near him, at least not tonight, and if tomorrow your curiosity still continues as great, pursue your researches if you will. But tonight you neither can nor shall. For that purpose I mean to keep you all to myself." Franz protested he could not defer his pursuit till the following day, for many reasons. "Listen to me," said the Countess, "and do not be so very headstrong. I am going home. I have a party at my house tonight, and therefore cannot possibly remain till the end of the opera. Now, I cannot for one instant believe you so devoid of gallantry as to refuse a lady your escort when she even condescends to ask you for it." There was nothing else left for Franz to do but take up his hat, open the door of the box, and offer the Countess his arm. It was quite evident by her manner that her uneasiness was not feigned, and Franz himself could not resist a feeling of superstitious dread, so much the stronger in him as it arose from a variety of corroborative recollections, while the terror of the Countess sprang from an instinctive belief originally created in her mind by the wild tales she had listened to till she believed them truths. Franz could even feel her arm tremble as he assisted her into the carriage. Upon arriving at her hotel, Franz perceived that she had deceived him when she spoke of expecting company. On the contrary, her own return before the appointed hour seemed greatly to astonish the servants. If we were in a vampire tale, this would be the moment when Franz would be up to his knees in shit, because the Countess would be doing a ruse to get him alone by himself so that she could feed on him. Surprise twist, the Countess is also a vampire. And then, of course, as she's feeding on him in the dark and he's recounting all of the ways in which it brought him to this situation, then emerges from the darkest shadow of the room a tall, pale figure in the visage of Lord Byron himself, the king of the vampires, and he now relates to Franz what to expect with his new life of vampirism. Sure, the reputation is that of fear and degradation, but the pleasures that come forth from being immortal, with powers beyond all human imagination, far outweigh the petty, futile, and temporary insults that civilians hurl at them, because now they will outlive anyone who dares to look upon them. A human life now passes in the blink of an eye before the great race of vampires. That is, of course, unless they find a stake, a wooden stake pierced through their very heart, one of the few vulnerabilities left over from their previous human form. Franz, initially hesitant and repulsed by the idea of being transformed into a creature of the night, soon relinquishes his grip as a twinkling sensation fills his veins, and soon he feels the power grip his very soul. It's heavy. It weighs him down, and soon he falls into a deep, deep sleep. When he awakes, it is night, and he hath become vampire. Thank you for indulging me in that. Countess is really scared about Dante. And not only that, I mean, okay, let's talk a little bit about this, because this comes up quite often when you are talking horror stories from this time period, and particularly stories about humanoid creatures like vampires. In that there's a sort of xenophobia that comes from it, and you can get little tastes of it here. It's not great. I don't like it, obviously. You see it in everything from Lovecraft to zombie stories, just across the board. Anytime you have a creature or a threat, let me put it that way, when you have a perceived threat to a character, it's unfortunately usually wrapped around some sort of what they claim as foreign features. And so today's passage, unfortunately, the countess is wrapping the Greek woman in with her superstitious beliefs about Dante, even though he's not Greek. So just the sheer fact that they are both foreigners makes her attribute these ghastly, monstrous features with them. We don't like it. We don't like to see it. I'm going to just take it that it's not something Dumas believes in. It was a convention of the time and speaks more to the character of the countess than it does the author of this story. I know people get kind of uppity about Lovecraft, and with good reason. It's worth the criticism, obviously, and the conversation that comes from it. What I find a bit more palatable about Lovecraft is that, yeah, that stuff is there, but it does, at least to me, seem like it's coming from an existential place in Lovecraft rather than a place of hatred, a fear of his place on the earth as opposed to a sort of superiority complex. I'm not defending him. I'm not apologizing for him at all. I'm just kind of suggesting, to me, his horror tends to be a bit more interpretive. There's more layers to it that you can pull apart and examine as their own things, which tends to be pretty interesting considering, the cosmos is the limit when it comes to Lovecraft. The same cannot be said for someone like Robert E. Howard, which has some pretty unapologetically racist stuff in it. Okay, that's all I've got for today. Join me here tomorrow as we see if Franz is going to stay the night with the Countess. Is a scandal a brewing? We shall find out. Until tomorrow. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.